Okay, we're live, we're live. Hey, guys, it's Old Man Cheater back again. I'm joined by TBF, Shawnee, and Josh, and this is our weekly Red Devils Is Your Life podcast where we discuss, mostly non-Manchester United related things in the world of football. Today, we're going to be talking about the fact that the Liga is returning. We're also going to be talking about Lionel Messi's recent comments about Barcelona Football Club and their chances of winning the Champions League. Thirdly, we'll be talking about Chiellini and the fact that he forgives Luis Suarez for biting him. And then lastly, we're going to preview the game tomorrow, which is Dortmund versus Bayern, a title decider. So without further ado, let's just get stuck into it. La Liga. La Liga is returning. I'll just bring up this, I think it's this BBC News article. Yep, there we go. So as most of you guys hopefully will see, the Liga could resume with Betis versus Sevilla, a semi-underwhelming game, behind closed doors on the 11th of June. That is the supposed expectation, for Liga to start. Obviously, Spain was hit quite substantially by the coronavirus pandemic, much like Italy, with the UK being a bit worse. Hey, Raymond Moore, thank you for joining. Thank you, mate. So what do you guys think? I'll just open it up. What do you guys actually think about the Liga returning? And do you think it's too soon? Is the first question. And I think the second question is, three questions. One, is it too soon? Two, what do you expect when it returns? And then three, who do you think will actually win that La Liga title? So without further ado, we'll go with our newest recruit, TBF. TBF.
Okay. This will be cool. I don't feel like it should start, man. I'm being honest here. I was actually not really supportive of the whole Bundesliga starting as well. But given their recovery rate, which is really high, which is recovery as in the number of cases recovered. Yeah. Divided by the number of cases detected, it's like a whopping 90%, and that's somewhat decent. But then I was there thinking, there's still not a definitive cure for it as such, and I feel like, okay, if you do want to consider the fact that you shouldn't let the internal economy of the club fail, Bundesliga right now makes the most sense. On the contrary, Spain is still at a 63% recovery rate, and like you just quoted, it was really hit in this recent coronavirus pandemic. So no, I'm not really supportive of the idea of La Liga returning back because I know there are no fans and stuff. But I'm coming from an emotional angle here. But what's football without the fans, man? It sucks. It's not good. I was watching. Usually the Bundesliga stadiums are full and stuff. And I saw the I saw the Dortmund versus Schalke game last week, and usually a game like that is always on fire, man. And it was so dead. It was so dead. Literally, it was just watching, a training session, man. And, it didn't feel like the same vibes. But yeah, after this pandemic, probably I shouldn't really expect for, vibes that are produced by the fans and stuff. But even in the interests of the players, I don't feel like a 63% recovery rate is very convincing for the league to start. So as far as the league starting is concerned, that's where my viewpoint stands. And as far as the league is concerned, as far as who will win the league is concerned, I feel like Barcelona as always has the edge again, which sucks, but they always have the edge. But this time I feel like the edge is quite less than usual. Usually the edge is massively high because Real Madrid is always quite incompetent when it comes to consistency and stuff like that. So I feel like it's kind of neck and neck right now. No one actually is at a position where you can say, oh, okay, Barcelona deserve to win the league or Real Madrid deserve to win the league. So I feel like if it starts, probably Barcelona has the edge. but you can't rule out Real Madrid considering the fact that there's only a 2 point difference. And Barcelona have screwed up a lot. They've had more losses, and on the contrary, Real Madrid have more draws this season. So yeah, as it stands now, it's kind of a neck and neck, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, no, I think that's a pretty good detailed explanation. Josh, what are your thoughts on Liga returning and all those things?
I don't know. I think, well, if that is the case, it will return on the 11th of June or 10th of June, or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. The Bundesliga would have been running for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. I feel like they should. I know it's with time and things like that, but they should let the sort of Bundesliga run for like a month. See what happens to everything. If people are social distancing well, and if people are there's no sort of, it's not spreading with the clubs and things like that, then I think it gives a go ahead for the Liga, and then everyone slowly return. There's actually a funny thing. Danny Ceballos, who obviously my club, but he's on loan from our brother TBF's club, Real Madrid. He was having an interview with Spanish media, and he basically hinted at the fact that Premier League could be turning on the 20th of June. But I don't know if it was sort of mistranslation or, but he might have potentially let the cat out of the bag there for the Premier League with the 20th of June, which would be, honestly, I love football. It would be awesome. I don't care. I think it would be so awesome for it to come back. I think about the not the fans being there, I can kind of understand. But I watched. I'm also a big fan of mixed martial arts, and I watched the UFC. And I know that's a little different because it's not, it's not a team sport. It's just an individual. But I watched that without fans on. It was the first card back. The main event was. I forgot who the main event was now. But anyway, the whole event was insane. You could hear, just the coaches in there. I think there was 2 coaches allowed per team. You could hear the commentators, the whole arena. You could hear the thuds of them hitting each other. You could hear everything, and there's a little bit of a rawness to it. So I don't necessarily mind that there's no fans. To be honest, I don't think there's going to be fans for a while. If there is fans, and if they are, it's going to be people spread out in different corners, and it'll be really weird. And I don't think it's going to work with fans for a very long time. So personally, I think I'm happy for the league to return and other leagues to follow suit, gradually, with proper social distancing rules. Because I mean, the Germans, their lockdown ended a while ago. And even some Scandinavian countries don't even have a lockdown. They just have social distancing with common sense. But it's different places, and people will follow different rules of social distancing. So I'm all for it. Liga returning. As far as winning the league, I'm gonna go Barca. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Barca always got the edge, haven't they? But we'll see. But I've got Barca as well.
Okay. Shawnee, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so similar two different points there. Like Josh said, we're not entirely sure when this is going to get back to normal, and I think that's what La Liga now, the Premier League, the Bundesliga, that's kind of where they're looking at. Like I said a week ago, Bundesliga is like the test bunny. It's like the test bunny of, okay, let's see if this is good. Let's see if it's healthy. Let's see if we can do this without there being any problems. Yeah. That's why I think a lot of leagues around the world were hesitant to just call it and just say, that's it, we're done for this season. It's because there's probably a lot of people in the back room of the FA going, hold on, if we call it this season, when are we going to be back? Because the safety issue resides in, how can we continue doing this, and how can we continue to bring entertainment and to bring this thing that everybody loves to people's doors safely, keeping the players safe, keeping the fans safe, all that kind of stuff. All eyes on Germany. At the moment, there's no reported issues. It's they've been back at it for 2 games now, and it seems to have gone pretty well without any issues. No, as far as I know, there's been no reported issues of any spread of any sort, or anyone being in any sort of immediate danger. So all eyes on the Bundesliga to see how it goes. They were the test bunnies. La Liga is doing the same now. They're keen to get everything back on the road again. Like Josh just mentioned with the fans, it's a really, really good point, because they want to know, okay, if we do this without the fans, even next season, even if it continues into next season, not having any major event gatherings, then what is it going to look like? So with that being said, I would say that if it does go, the fans are the passion and the driving force behind football. Of course they are, but if we can't have that for the rest of this season or for the whole of next season, could this possibly be a good alternative? Just televising the games, televising your club's games, and is it still going to be entertaining? Is it still going to, attract the amount of people that it does, to the game and to their individual clubs? So I think more so it's not about, let's just get the football back on the road and let's just get it finished. If that was the case, I think they'd just pull the plug. What I think this is, bringing the football back for the rest of the season, is to just use it as a formula to see if it's actually going to work. Because they don't know, they're not sure yet if they can introduce fans again coming next season. So I think this time round it's just going to be, let's just see what it is. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see if we can actually do this and have another whole season of just playing it without the fans and just televising the games. So I think in a nutshell, the Liga being back is just part and parcel of FIFA just feeling out, just putting their feelers out there, seeing the response from various different people, and just seeing if there's a route or if there's a way to do this from the comfort of your sofa.
Okay, fair enough. I think everyone has actually made very, very concise points. And like I said, for me, I don't think I was really that surprised that the Bundesliga came back, just for the simple fact of how Germany have handled things. But obviously, it wasn't that long ago that Spain were really hit quite a bit. And so June, obviously, the 11th is about just maybe over 2 weeks away from now. Clearly, they're obviously trying to make plans for a return, and obviously Spain and Italy were ahead of the UK in that respect. So it makes sense the UK would be slightly later. So, like a lot of people already said, like as long as obviously it's safe, and hopefully by the time that we get to those 2 weeks, you'll find that the rates will be negligible, that you won't have this issue. I think my only thing is with a lot of these things, although I don't think it's been the case in Germany, because they've been quite sensible. But I do query whether sometimes in certain games where you'll see a lot of people just come out and basically just be in front of the stadium. So like I think they had a similar instance when it was which I think it was PSG actually, PSG Dortmund. That was behind closed doors, but you saw a lot of the PSG fans were just outside the stadium. So they all seem to bear that in mind. As for that includes like the expectation coming back. I think that a lot of players are going to be. I think basically what I'm saying is I think people need to keep the expectations low, much like they do with the Bundesliga, because players are not going to be fit at all, and so to expect to see the wonders of Hazard, even Messi to a certain extent, a lot of his players, Suarez, etc. It's just not going to be good. So I think people need to bear that in mind. That's where my expectations are. maybe it might be slightly better than Bundesliga just because of the players, but even then, I still think that it's going to be very pre-season-esque feel. Now, as opposed to who will win the Liga, it's a tough one, really. It could obviously could either be Barcelona and Real Madrid. It's just that both teams have been. A part of me, I think a part of me feels that Messi can carry this Barcelona team. Messi can do it, but as we'll go into one of the topics later, well, actually the next topic, Barcelona and Messi and the hierarchy and the manager, there seems to be some conflict behind what they think the team can achieve. And I just wonder whether that issue will spill over onto the field and whether Real Madrid can basically take that advantage, that initiative. The other thing as well is that I would imagine, well, I was going to say the Champions League, but the Champions League isn't going to resume until the domestic seasons are over, so I guess that's not an issue. But I would have normally said, well, Real Madrid will probably be knocked out by Man City, so they can focus on the Liga. But yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway. It will be close, but I think given what's happening at Barcelona right now, the only thing I guess you could say is that I think Josh, maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this, but is Dembele fit now?
Usman Dembele?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
No, he isn't.
Okay, that was the only thing I was thinking. If prime Ooze,
yeah, he can get back in the form. Yeah,
then maybe. But if you're going to have to rely on Suarez, who I think is going to take a lot of time to recover, and B-Tech Ronaldo in Antoine Griezmann. He's not. I don't think he's a B-Tech Ronaldo. He's at this moment in time.
I've never rated Griezmann, honestly.
He's like a B-Tech Özil. B-Tech.
Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful.
Disrespectful. Raymond Moore says, based on what I've seen so far in Bundesliga, it's safe to return now. Enough. But yeah, does anyone have any more comments about Liga before we move on to the next topic?
Not really.
Not really. Yeah, I think it's just going to watch this space. Now, I think this was going to be a bit more. Sorry, go on.
Yep. No. That's true. Yeah.
Cool.
I was just agreeing.
I think this topic is going to be a bit more interesting, and that is Messi's Barcelona comments. Now, I'm going to see if I can share screen this. It's actually coming from Sport, which is the Spanish site. Let's see if I can do this. Get it up here. Yeah, there we go. And can everyone see that?
Yeah.
You'll be able to see it. So it's coming from Sport, which is a Spanish news outlet, and it's basically, Messi. This is translated. Perhaps Saint-Etienne misunderstood him. We cannot win the Champions League as before the break. And I'll just quickly scroll to Messi's. Well, basically, the question was: do you still think that that you guys could basically win? Do you believe what the coach says, Saint-Etienne says? And Messi, and this is a poor translation, but essentially he says, well, maybe this break may end up benefiting us, but we are going to see if they can start the competition. This is a Champions League, and there we'll get out of doubt because we will check the level that we have or we might not have. What I think is that the coach probably understood what I said or misunderstood what I wanted to say, Saint-Etienne. What I said is that playing as we had been playing the last games before the break, it seemed clear that it was not enough for us to win the Champions League. I never doubted the squad we have and did not have the doubt that you can win all or whatever that's left, but not by playing in the way we were playing. Now everyone has their opinion and they're all very respectable. It's fair enough. Mine is based on the fact that I was lucky to win the Champions League every year, and I know that it's not possible to win it by playing the way that we have been playing.
Okay.
So that's Messi's comments. I'll just stop that screen share. What do you guys think about that? Is Messi right, or is Saint-Etienne right in saying, "Of course we have enough"?
I think there was. If I could just quickly interject there, I think there was 2 different points there. I think the Saint-Etienne was saying, yeah, we've got the squad that we need to take on the Champions League, and then Messi was saying that we need to play better to get to win the Champions League. So I think there's like two different points there. I think there's one that obviously that Saint-Etienne talking about the squad and Messi not happy with how they've been performing. So I think there was two different points there, and quite rightly what Messi said there. You know, Barcelona could do better. They could perform better. They've got a team that has a bigger potential to be stronger in the Champions League. So I think I agree with both. I think Barcelona do have a very, very strong squad, and at the same time, I do think that they have a bigger potential and that they could do a lot better. So I agree with both. They do have a good squad, but yeah, they could maybe gel a little bit more. They could just be a little bit more in sync to be a little bit more effective in the Champions League.
Okay, just before we go on to Josh, just first question coming from our Average Joe. Hope you're doing okay, bro. Basically, Average Joe posed the question to the panel, and obviously TBF, you're the Real Madrid fan. Says, how good do you think Kubo from Real Madrid can become?
Okay. I feel like with Takefusa Kubo, he's good, and there's no doubt about that. But I feel like since his signing to Real Madrid, I feel like he's been rated a bit more higher than he actually is. Yeah, I mean the fact being that he hasn't proven anything as such yet, as something really significant. He hasn't done anything yet in the La Liga as well in this whole season. I feel like another loan season would do to actually discover his real potential. In any way, I don't say that we should sell him. That's not where I'm coming from. But I would say that he still needs a season off from Real Madrid so that he can get his perspectives right. Yeah.
Oh my days!
And with the Barcelona thing, can I lead up or something like that?
Yep. Okay. Go for it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the question was actually the topic was actually Messi addressing the fact that Barcelona aren't good enough to win the Champions League right now. Correct? That is what is his comment, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So to that I say I 100% agree with him. Don't get me wrong, man. Barcelona have been the most what do you call them? I don't want to sound too offensive or something. It's the most clown-worthy team, if that makes sense. And yeah, I know that people are gonna come at me for saying that you haven't won too much in the last few years, except the Champions League in 2018. 2018-19 for Real Madrid was a null trophy season, to be honest. And meanwhile, Barcelona won the league very convincingly. But man, look at how they play, man. It's literally the results that are shadowing what the flaws they are exposing on the field, man. It doesn't make sense. I think since Neymar left and since Luis Enrique left, I think their president Bartomeu, such a clown, man. It's the biggest clown I've ever seen. Look at how they are, man. For example, after Neymar left, to be honest, I'm bringing in Liverpool here. But what they did with Coutinho money was amazing, man. That's how you should plan for stuff. That's how every club process should carry out. I'm not saying Real Madrid is perfect, but Barcelona did it in the most embarrassing manner ever. They signed Dembele. They signed Coutinho. It's like a little child breaking a toy and his parents getting a new one immediately after it breaks. It doesn't work like that in football, man. If you sell Coutinho, if Liverpool sell Coutinho, look what Liverpool did, man. They got in Alisson. Look at what Barcelona do, man. They literally sold Neymar. Okay, we sold Neymar. Get a new winger in. We got Dembele. Dembele is not working. Okay, get Coutinho in. Okay, Coutinho is not working. Bring Malcolm in. It doesn't make sense, man. The club process is just so screwed. And if it comes to the 2018-19 season, they were damn lucky, man, because Real Madrid underperformed so much. They were so bad. that they were trying to rediscover what they are actually meant to be after the three-peat, after Ronaldo left, after Zidane left, new manager, new team. We didn't plan for Ronaldo's exit properly. We had no ideal replacement because it's kind of impossible to replace someone like Ronaldo. But we should have planned well. I will say that from Real Madrid's perspective, we should have planned well. But look at Barcelona, man. Every match, it was carried by a Messi, probably who had one of the most arguably his best individual seasons, man. 2018-19, man scored 52 goals in one season. He scored 52 goals. Like, he was like literally on fire, man, that season. He was literally carrying that team. Every time you watch a Barcelona match, it's either Messi giving you the winner, or Messi, equalizing, or Messi, it's every time Messi, man, on the score sheet. Every damn time. Remove this guy from the equation, what do you have? What is Barcelona's identity right now without Lionel Messi in their team? Just tell me that, and if you give me a good explanation to that, I'm out of here. Give me a good explanation, because it doesn't make sense. And okay, so like 2019-20 as well. Real Madrid, man, literally like so many draws. Like Barcelona was so terrible this time. Their defending was massively like a blunder-worthy season for them. If you talk about their defending, like even like Real Madrid like should have picked up so many dubs, man. If I'm being honest, literally we were drawing so many teams. We drew like 8 games this season. So again, who is it doing it for them again? Lionel Messi, man. The top scorer, Lionel Messi. The top assister, Lionel Messi. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's not bad to have someone like Lionel Messi to carry out everything in the middle. It's not bad. We had Ronaldo, who was perfect. He was perfect for the team. It doesn't hurt to have a very good player in your team. But the thing is, like the transfers, the signings, it was carried out in such a bizarre manner. I think there is some hope for them to regain their lost identity again in 2021 when the new presidential election happens. Probably then something could really change for them. Yeah.
No, fair enough, buddy. Fair enough. Before I just go on to Josh, I'm just read some of these comments just to come up, and I flagged up. So obviously, Raymond Moore says Messi has lost confidence in the way they were playing, I guess, or maybe implied that he has passed his prime. Too scared to admit it, maybe. Average Joe says Messi has also lost faith in his players. He isn't beating Bayern alone. And they don't think, and this is in relation to Barcelona, they don't think about their transfers. And the funny thing is that they don't have money. All those players were from Neymar's money. That's a fair point. I mean, they thought Neymar was 200+ million, or
That's
even
ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's
well, you say that though, but I mean, Neymar was 200+ million, but they spent 100 and I think it was at least 120 on Coutinho,
and it was almost the same in Dembele as well.
Yeah, and then they spent another 120 million on Antoine Griezmann. So they've already spent about 360 million, 380 million on those 3 players. And that's not including, obviously, De Jong, who I think was De Jong like 60, 70 million? And then, who else did they bought?
They actually, bought and sold Malcolm in just like 2 years.
Did they get Lamar as well?
No, Lamar's Atletico.
Atletico.
But I know they signed Semedo. How much?
Semedo, yeah.
That's it.
Semedo
Now you hear rumors of Semedo's exit as well. It doesn't make sense, man. The club is just.
Josh, you've been quiet. What's your say on Messi's comments?
Yeah, I think it's the style of football, like JB. What's your name again? TBF. That's the one. I can JBF.
Yeah.
That's definitely not the name. The football, the style of football is so bad. Like when what's his name was there? What was the guy called? They just sucked.
I know you're talking about. Why is his name? His fault was that forgettable. That
what's his name, man?
Who are we talking about?
The previous Barcelona manager.
Who's the current manager and who's the previous?
Ernesto Valverde.
Valverde. There we go.
Valverde, yeah.
Man, there's so many Barcelona fans just so angry. Anytime I'd go on the La Liga YouTube channel and the Barcelona game, like the style of football, Like they haven't had it good since Pep and Enrique, to be honest. I know obviously Enrique kind of his personal reasons, things like that. And but yeah, the style of football, you can tell it's just they don't like to play like that. They haven't sorted out their defense. Semedo's good. Jordi Alba's getting tired. PK is good. Relatively consistent, but he's
nah,
PK?
mate.
Come on.
Nah.
I mean,
PK is the worst of the two centre backs always, every time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's more of an attacker, but yeah, he's decent, but he's not. He's way past his prime.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, way past his prime. Titty for me, like honestly, I don't think Titty's that good. And Longley is people. I think he's overrated. People keep saying he's this, he's that. I don't think Longley's that good. So
I don't think Barcelona have. So not to interrupt you, Josh, but I don't actually think that Barcelona have a world-class centre back now. I don't think they have.
Not since Mascherano, probably.
PK at times, yeah, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, not since Mascherano. I mean, PK doesn't do a lot of defending though. He's always halfway up the pitch. So they're only probably I mean, I've go on.
No, I was saying as does Ramos, but the thing with Real Madrid, I think, is different. Is that well,
they've got Varane. Varane's an animal.
Sorry.
They've got Varane.
They also have Modric, who's really, although he's tired, he's often really good at tracking back as well. And obviously they have Casemiro, whereas Barcelona, Busquets needs to retire. To be honest, like he's just not good anymore. Like he's not there was peak Busquets fine, but now
it's the style of football because Busquets is like. If you watch prime Busquets, like you literally can't get the ball off him. The ball is passed to him, and you can't press him. You can't get the ball off him. Try and tackle him, the ball is gone.
Yeah, but this is like prime Busquets. Prime Busquets was untouchable. You can't.
Absolutely. Right. But now they the style of football doesn't suit any of that. So even Busquets' play style, it's a bit kind of like.
The thing with Busquets as well, I'm like kind of conflicted on how they dealt with upcoming prospects as well, because like they brought out De Jong, but the thing is like I don't see De Jong as a defensive midfielder who can operate in a single pivot. I look at him as someone who would operate as in a double pivot, like how Xabi Alonso and Sami Khedira used to operate under Mourinho. I look at Frenkie de Jong who can operate like that very well. Meanwhile, Busquets is like a single pivot guy. He can do a lot of stuff on his own. But since you say that Busquets is past his prime and stuff, I don't know if De Jong is actually the ideal replacement for Busquets. But only time will tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just before you finish, Josh, just read quick some of those comments. Say they ruined the market. Joe in the process. Now Dortmund request 100 million for Sancho. Looks eyes have been thrown to the Neymar thing. And then lastly, also what happened to Barcelona's youth academy? They should have found someone for Messi by now. Well, I have said that quite a few times. How even Real Madrid seem to be bringing players through the academy. Trying to give them some games and young players, youth players. Barcelona, the only one I can even think of is Ansu Fati, and that's it. This Ansu Fati kid that seems to be going okay, and he's had actually a much better season than Griezmann has. But I can't think of any midfielders, defenders, attacker, wingers, or whatever that have come from. But what's happened to Barcelona's youth academy? Because
they messed up somewhere along the way. Because, like you said. When you've got people like Xavi, Messi, and Iniesta coming from a youth system, and now you're having to spend 100 million on Griezmann, then something has gone wrong.
Nonsense.
Maybe it's maybe it's like a panic thing. They don't. Maybe they've invested more invested less in the youth system and the academies and things like that, and the higher ups are more focused on getting big transfers and getting big. It probably sounds weird, but getting Neymar the whole Neymar thing might have maybe messed that up, because maybe there was someone in the wings. Like I can't think of too many academy players
Like that's the problem essentially. Like when Neymar left, when Neymar left, they had Barcelona as the president, and Barcelona is like a proper clown material. He is. So he hasn't done anything. Literally, it's so weird that his solution to Neymar leaving was exactly replacing a winger in that way. He didn't think that he could, change the style and whatnot, and find good adjustments to other positions and stuff. No, he didn't think anything about that. He was just focusing position to position. Neymar leaves, okay, Dembele. And if Dembele doesn't work, okay, put in Coutinho, because Coutinho, obviously back then he was like popping off and stuff. And it was also really, it was also retarded of them to think that Coutinho can operate as a goal scorer who plays as a winger, as an inverted forward, if that makes sense. Like Coutinho is not that. Coutinho is a proper number 10 player. And whom do you have at your number 10? Arguably the best player in the world. So,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the only thing I can say there is not arguably that he is the best player in the world, best number
10. I don't want to get into that.
I've avoided the Messi versus Ronaldo. I think at some point I will have a Messi versus Ronaldo when this channel like blows up and there's tons of videos.
I am not coming to that.
I'll get like 30 people in, and we'll have a reasonable discussion. Quick last comments before we move on to the next topic. Was Arthur part of the academy? Does anyone know? Was Arthur part of the academy?
Not sure. He's okay. Nothing special.
I have a look. I think answers. I'm not.
What about Sergio Roberto? He's not amazing.
Sergio Roberto, I think, is part of the academy. Yeah, but I mean,
that's
he's.
I mean, if you're looking for like the next Messi or Ronaldo, you'd be looking a long time, wouldn't you? Because I mean,
centuries.
Yeah. It's just impossible to find players like that again. I mean, I'm not bringing the Messi Ronaldo argument up again, but they're probably the two players that will we even see anybody like those two ever again?
When you say that finding players like Ronaldo and Messi is like very tough, I 100% agree to that. But it's not because you can't find talent like them. Talent it's generational. You can always find talent in from generation to generation. It's not about the talent. But when you say someone like Ronaldo or Messi will find only after centuries, we're talking about the work ethic and the consistency, man. That's what I'm thinking. And talent, every generation produces some kind of talent. But work ethic and consistency, I don't think anyone can. Dude, like usually it's like a 3 to 4 years burst of good form and then done. Usually they don't perform after that. But 10 to 15 years, that's mad.
And no like big career-ending injuries either. Really long injuries, because there's some
like look at Ronaldinho, man. Ronaldinho was like, oh my god, look the talent that he possessed. Even Ronaldo and Messi didn't possess the talent that he had.
I agree with that. I'm going to agree with that one.
But after the 06 or the 05, when he played the 06 World Cup, you can see the difference of the sky and the ground to the Ronaldinho who played in the 2002 World Cup versus the one who played in the 2006 World Cup. It speaks levels, man, literally.
No, fair enough. Just a quick few questions before we move to the next topic, which I think will be interesting. Raymond says, my question is, what will happen to Barcelona if Messi retires or moves to another club? Will they ever be the same? I'll just get one person to address this just quickly, just have to move on. Shawnee, do you want to just...
You know what would happen if that happened? Neymar would go to Barcelona. That's what would happen. And then he could be the main man. Because that's probably what the problem was. And then like sharing the glory with others. If they did sell Messi, that would be the solution. They would get Neymar, and they would pay whatever they could, sell their family to get Neymar. But that's what would happen.
I mean, what would happen to Barcelona is that they just. I mean, Raymond Moore was saying there that would they be the same, and of course they wouldn't be. No team would be the same after selling someone like, or someone like that retiring at your club. He is the reason why Barcelona grew in such a huge fan base. It's because everyone wanted to go and see the best player in the world. You know, he is literally he drew their fans. He built their club because he's been there what now, like most of his life, probably. Like he was there from when he was like 12 or something. So yeah, definitely the club is never going to be the same. I don't know what would happen to Barcelona once he goes. Like Josh just said there, they'll have to just look for somebody else to, attempt to fill that void in some way. I mean, the good news for Real Madrid is that it will definitely put them on an even keel, because right now I think Barcelona have the edge just because they do still have Messi. So definitely Barcelona just wouldn't be the same after absolutely no way. I don't think the world of football will be the same when Messi retires. So yeah.
Okay, just last comments. I'll just read Stu MC. Good to see you. Stu MC, Ansu Fati's a brilliant talent, and Thiago Almada is the closest thing to Messi. And then lastly, the difference with Ansu Fati is he has a selfless vision and attitude of an Iniesta that's more enticing than any pony trickster. And that's a fair point from what I've seen. From what I've seen in Ansu Fati play, I think that there is an element of selflessness in that respect. So, no, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, quickly move on to the next topic. I want to dedicate most of this to previewing the Dortmund Bayern game. Chiellini Suarez comments. Chiellini Suarez comments. Now, I think Chiellini has basically published a book. This is actually coming from his book, actually. And he made a few comments. I think people remember the comments that he made about Balotelli and Melo being, well, if you can see the screen share, I'll just take you to the article that he showed. So basically, we'll go on. He says, he basically says here, malice is a part of football. I wouldn't call it illegitimate to get past the rival. You have to be smart. The Juventus captain said in his book. I admire his cunning, he added. If he lost it, he'd become an ordinary forward. He then says, I marked Edison Cavani for most of the match. This is the 2014 game, obviously the game that he bit him in. Another guy who was difficult to mark and who didn't hold back against. Suddenly, I noticed I had been bitten in the shoulder. It just happened. But that's his strategy in hand-to-hand combat. And if I may say so, it's mine too. He and I are like to take like him. So those are the comments from Chiellini on his biting Suarez comments. He admires Suarez. He's an animal. He's a beast. It's hand-to-hand combat. What do you guys, and for those who are listening in the comments, what's going on here? Is Chiellini right, or what?
I mean, it's just his opinion, isn't it? It's just like
that's what I would say. There's nothing much to address here, to be honest. Obviously, what happened was purely personal to them, I can say, because my man decided to put his DNA all over Chiellini. So if he's okay with it, he's okay.
That sounds worse than biting.
Imagine if this was 2020, man. Literally, Chiellini would come for blood to Suarez because of this Corona shit.
Yeah.
This was 2020, man would be with a dagger.
No, I think my only take is I think because all this is coming from his book, it's kind of like especially on his comments on Melo and Balotelli, and they don't have the right attitude and the this and that, etc. And obviously we know the racism is in the background. So it just in my mind, I'm trying to sort of understand how you can have more of an issue, you have less of an issue with someone who bit you in the arm versus someone who you in quote deem has an in quote bad attitude. that's what I don't know. Like I just feel like if someone bit me in the arm while I'd be playing football, I wouldn't just be like, let me just give you a hearty handshake. I admire you for your ferocity and your spirit. I would go, hang on a minute, punch. Like, why are you biting me? You know, so that's what I don't get about it. So I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel it's this. I feel for me there's a bit of a shine. I've always had more of a thing with Bonucci than Chiellini anyway. But I feel like Chiellini at times has just been a bit, you know. I don't know. What do people think? Maybe I'm just rambling here.
Just
not much on that, I don't think. Yeah,
just a bit bizarre, really, isn't it? That I mean, like I say previously, it was one of the. It's an incident that it's maybe not. It's maybe something that you have to talk about, and it's just like his spin on it, I guess. And it's strange that he's actually sort of like under talking it as well. It's kind of he's talking it down. It's kind of like that's just we're warriors. We and we were like gladiators in the ring. Yeah, so it's an odd one.
That's a weird one.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah. We agree that it's weird. That like the statement is like I'd be very concerned if people are going, you know what, fair play to him.
Yeah,
like, I just feel like you can't, you know. I know some of you guys play five-side football here, so you know, Sean and Josh, when you organize a five-side football, you can't be like, you know, I know that person bit the other player, but he was just trying to be a warrior and spirit. You know what I mean? It just. An average Joe sort of says, never mess with talents. They know where you live, Godfather stuff and all that. Maybe that's
I wish it was 2020, man, when this incident happened. Literally, you could
if
find
anyone
like
bites someone on the pitch in 2020, they're going to jail, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Let's do it, because I thought that would be, but fair. I don't think there's much to say on it. So I think this is going to be the one at least I want to focus on the most all time, and this is Dortmund versus Bayern. Obviously, this is tomorrow. This is the big game, the El Clasico. Dortmund versus Bayern. Both teams obviously coming into this game with 2 wins after the restart. And I guess I want to take this almost like I think the first question I'll address the sort of panel is, out of Dortmund and Bayern after the restart, which one has impressed you more? And then we'll take on with other questions. So I'll start with like Josh. After the restart, out of Dortmund, Bayern, which team has impressed you more and why?
Honestly, Dortmund have impressed me out of all the teams. Dortmund and Leverkusen. They just Dortmund look so sharp, man. They look fit, very, very fit. They, I know, Schalke got battered. Schalke got battered 4-0 and 5-0 back to back, and I feel so bad for them. But they just they have been, definitely chilling in quarantine. Whereas Dortmund, it's almost as if the coach has said, "All right, we're going into quarantine, but if you don't follow this strict such and such and such and such, then you're not getting into the first team." And Jadon Sancho wasn't there the first game. Emre Can hasn't played both. Actually, Emre Can might have been there for the second game. I can't remember. But that's how it feels. It feels like a strict, like army regime. Like you can't mess around there because of the style of football that they play. Dortmund, honestly, they're my favourites, other than my team that I like to watch, and Liverpool as a second. Dortmund are my favourite team to watch in this 2019 to 2020 season. The way they just counter-attack. It's a shame about their defence. Although fair play to them, they kept 2 clean sheets, I believe. In this coming back now with Hummels and Akanji, but I think Akanji's out for the rest of. Well, he's out until whenever now. It was an unfortunate collision with the not Schalke, the Wolfsburg player. So because he's not the best, but he's better than Zagadou or whatever they have. So that'll be interesting going into the game on Tuesday. But if in terms of fitness levels, I would say that Dortmund have the edge. But it's Bayern Munich, man. They always find a way. Got people like Muller getting. I think De Bruyne had the most assists, but I think Muller has it now. I believe 17 this season, which is insane considering his age. But yeah, for me personally, I think Dortmund possibly have the edge over this game tomorrow, and they've got Haaland. Just pointing that out there. He's not normal. He can probably play 3 games a week. He's a robot, Terminator, I think. But yeah.
Average Joe says the thing is that Bayern, maybe to address your comment, the thing is that Bayern can play bad and still win. Dortmund have to play the best, or they will lose the whole thing.
I understand that, but I think Dortmund are going to go for 90 minutes and more. And they, like I said, this is the first time. So Bayern played Saturday or Sunday.
They played on the same day. So
they played on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, personally, I think Dortmund have the fitness levels. But I respect that guy's opinion, but he's wrong. No, I'm kidding. TBF, what do you think? Which of the two teams? I'll focus specifically on tactics and how people play, etc. later. But I think the specific question is, which out of the two teams has impressed you out of Dortmund Bayern since the return?
I'd say this is kind of a tough one, because both have done quite well, if I'm being honest. But I'd say this is okay. So basically, every Bundesliga is like so predictable at this point. But where I'm getting at is basically okay. So whenever the Bundesliga starts in the recent years, you can always see when there's a long break and the Bundesliga starts, Dortmund actually, press, step on the gas immediately and they go ham. Okay, they go ham and they're always like in that position where they, make themselves comfortable and stuff. It's only when mid-season arrives and slowly everything starts to crumble and, Bayern, play consistent and come back to the top again. So that's how it's been, because last season was a total stinker, man. Like the guys had 9-point lead and they bottled it. Like 9-point lead. Who bottles a 9-point lead? I don't understand. But when it comes to like Dortmund, I'd say that this is like regular Dortmund. Give them a long break and they've come back strong again. But I would say with
Didn't
Bayern,
Liverpool bottle a 9-point lead recently?
I mean,
I wasn't sure if you asked if it was rhetorical or not when you said who bottles a 9-point lead. Sorry, I just had to throw that out.
So basically, what I'm getting at is with Bayern, if you're talking about who the favorites is, I don't see Dortmund as a favorite for this game, because I've seen Bayern play, man, after the whole Nico Kovac sacking situation. Hansi Flick has transformed that squad. Like, I think they have had only, before quarantine, I think they had like a 2-month unbeaten run, I guess. And also they were like, I wouldn't say arguably, but the outright the best team of the Champions League group stage as well. But they were so solid, man, so solid. Like Bayern like played like this immovable force that you can't face them. You can't shake them off. And I feel like with this game as well, it's going to go in, probably Bayern's favor. But, I saw a comment earlier and it said Bayern could still play, on an average level and, still pick a dub. Whereas Dortmund have to play their hearts out, and that's what has to happen, man. But the thing is like with a game like the Der Klassiker, a game like that, the fans are the most integral part, man. The fans and the Dortmund fans go nuts on these nights. So you are missing the X factor that fuels to Dortmund's successes in these kind of big games. In these kind of big games, the German fans go crazy, and if it's Der Klassiker, I mean, there's no other argument for that. Literally, the Dortmund fans, literally carry their team through the 90 minutes. So I won't say they're gonna lose, but what I will say is it's going to be interesting how Dortmund will perform. In this occasion where there's no fans on the night against Bayern. But I'll conclude by saying that Bayern is like the favorites here.
Fair enough. Okay. Just quick comment. Look in the comments again. So I'll start everyone. Okay, fine. After this game, Bayern have the tougher run-in. That's a fair point. I think they do have to play. I think Leverkusen away and I think Gladbach, are home as well. So who are obviously high up on the table. So that's a fair point. Gladbach themselves, obviously, with title ambitions. So that's a fair point. Over to you, Shawnee. What do you think? Oh, Shawnee, you there? No, he's not muted.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah. So I think, I'm kind of the same. It's been interesting seeing it since the return, and obviously Dortmund just before the break were picking up momentum as well. I know they had that really bad loss where they were up 3-0 or something, and the other team came back to beat them. But they were still picking up momentum with the new signings, and they were looking really, really sharp. And I don't think there's much in between them. I think Dortmund are on 57, I think, and Bayern on 61, something like that. Have they played 27 games?
I think they only have 4. I think they only have 4 games left, actually.
Oh, right, okay.
But I think 27 is correct. I'll just double check. But go on, Sean.
Yeah, so there's not much in between them, so it's going to be a nail biter to see who's actually going to lift the Bundesliga. And I think that Dortmund at this stage, they're just going to take that momentum straight in. I think that I completely agree with TBF. The driving force is the fans, like we just mentioned previously. You want the fans to be there to spur your team on, especially when you're close to winning the title. The fans can be a deciding factor, just spurring the team on, just keeping them going, making sure that the adrenaline stays in the players. But at the same time, I think they're just kind of they've played 2 games now. It doesn't seem to have phased Dortmund at all. They're just blowing teams away. So with Bayern Munich, they still have that lead, and they've got. I think that the difference between them is that Dortmund have had 2 more draws than Bayern, so it's not much in it at all. I think they've had the same losses this season, so it's going to be a nail biter right away to the finish. I would like to think that Dortmund, for a bit of a change, would win the Bundesliga. Like TBF was saying, it's quite predictable, but you don't know. It might affect Bayern more than it does Dortmund, and you might see Dortmund just creeping up there. Because if Dortmund keeps smashing teams and winning 5-0, Bayern might be looking at that and going, damn, this Dortmund's really, really hammering us home, and it might put pressure on them. They might drop a few points, and then all of a sudden, you're neck and neck. Which it's pretty much neck and neck now. So I'd like to, if I was to say, I'd go with Dortmund. It's maybe more wishful thinking than anything because the lead that they have now with only a few games remaining, might be enough to see them cross the finish line. So Dortmund. If I wouldn't place any bets, but I'll just go with Dortmund.
Okay, fair enough. Just addressing a few of the comments, and thank you so much for Average Joe and Raymond Moore for getting involved in the comments. Really appreciate it. Yes, Dortmund fans are key. The wall in response. Raymond does say biennial dog up against the young blood. Dortmund experience might prevail in this game. And Average Joe again says if Dortmund had Royce, then there would be a different tone to this discussion. And I think that's the fair one. And in fact, we're going to go into the second. I think the second part of this sort of preview, which is, I guess, just sort of key players. And I guess I'll start this sort of off, and then it's you guys. But, key players in who you expect or will be key to the the winning of either each teams that need to sort of step up. And if we're first off talking about how Dortmund and how Bayern have obviously done well in those last few games in the re-break, then we've got to obviously look at the players that have been quite a part of that, and the key players that are going to make a difference in this derby. And not from a Dortmund perspective, I think for me, with Royce obviously being injured, which is important, as Joe mentions, I would say the big player right now is Jadon Sancho. I thought that Jadon Sancho, as soon as he came on in the game against Wolfsburg, which to be fair, Dortmund for most periods didn't play, he clearly made the difference. He created things, he gave them space, and he basically helped Dortmund kill the game off. Matt Hummels as well, as surprised I am to say that, because I think that Matt Hummels is way past his peak. It was clearly obvious that when Matt Hummels left that field, Dortmund defensively just seemed to be all over the place. So maybe that's why they withdrew him earlier. So I certainly think that those two players, I think you got to also give Julian Brandt there as well. I haven't mentioned Haaland yet, but if we're looking at creative dominance and key players, I think that Hummels, Brandt, and Jadon Sancho have to basically be playing in this game. They have to be playing. Haaland is important in scoring the goals, but I think if you take any of those three players out of the team, then Dortmund will struggle. Defensively, from the creative midfield, from Brandt's point of view, and just giving that attacking intensity, because Thiago and Hazard, for me, has been trash since he started. He's been awful, and he needs to be subbed. On the other hand, for Bayern Munich, Lewandowski, obviously, we know, had a field day against Dortmund, so he needs to be on form. And then Alphonso Davies, who seems to be emerging as possibly one of the best. And we talked about this earlier on. I will talk with someone about how Alphonso Davies might be the best, be a better right back than Trent Alexander-Arnold in terms of the best in the world. But he's doing.
Anyway. Ooh. Sorry, I'm guessing that was a discussion from earlier, so I'll leave that one alone.
But there's an argument. There's an argument. But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that those two players. I mean, my only thing with Bayern is just that they have conceded goals. So are they a defensive structure? Who knows? But that's my take on who I think are the most key players in this. For the Dortmund side and the Bayern side that need to sort of step up the game if either of their team are going to win. We'll go the opposite way. So we'll start with Sean this time, and then end with Josh. So Shawnee, who do you think are the key players? Sorry, just before I go in, just quick look into the comments. So Average Joe says Sancho has to start, Davis, Kimmich, and Lewandowski for Bayern, and then Brandt as well. And then lastly, another problem is that Bayern has so much pace, and that's a fair point. Going on to you, Sean, who do you think are the key players for either side in this derby?
Yeah, that's pretty good by Average Joe there. You're expecting your usual suspects to step up, and that's the thing. That's what makes this derby so exciting. Is if you can call it a derby, because they're obviously miles apart, but it's the whole. If Sancho turns up and Haaland turns up, keeping in mind that I'm fairly sure that Sancho and definitely Haaland's first derby, isn't it? It's the first time that he's facing Bayern Munich for sure, isn't it?
Haaland, yes. Sancho, no. Yeah, Haaland, yes. Sancho, no. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple of the Dortmund players, and yeah, Royce is missing as well, which is a big blow for them. So, but at the end of the day, with such small games remaining, Dortmund do have a bit of momentum behind them that might put pressure onto Bayern Munich a little bit, and Bayern Munich might be thinking to themselves, "Oh my goodness me, like Dortmund are blowing teams away. We're going to have to really, really step up our game." That can sometimes be a dangerous mentality to have going into a derby or a game as big as this. That could make a big difference to the title race. So, it's all there for Munich to lose, isn't it? And like I say, sometimes that can be a disadvantage. I feel like I'm a low key Dortmund fan here. I'm really not. It's just that they're just playing really attractive football at the minute. and it just seems to be going Dortmund's way. And Bayern Munich have done exactly the same, coming back from the break. Really, it doesn't look like that there's a weakness there anywhere. But the key players, Sancho, obviously, Haaland, Average Joe was saying there, Kimmich and Lewandowski, they're the players that you're expecting. Yeah, Brandt, he's another good one. They're the players that you're expecting to step up in these big games, because they're really the giant games. When the fixtures come out at the beginning of the season, you look for Bayern Munich, Dortmund. That's what the fans are looking for. It's kind of the same here in England. I look for Everton and Man United, just because they're the big adrenaline pumping, exciting games. The whole world tunes in to see them, to see the stars performing there. So yeah. So do I have to give a result there, or is that
No,
it?
no, yeah, we'll come to that. I think the main key question here is just who do you think are going to be the key players going into this derby, basically, which you've essentially addressed.
Sancho, Haaland for Dortmund, Kimmich and Lewandowski. I agree with Average Joe there.
TBF, what do you think?
Okay, so as far as this, the key players and such are concerned, I'd say that for Bayern, their most top performer has been Robert Lewandowski, scoring 41 goals across all competitions, which is nuts. It's literally an ideal Ronaldo or Messi kind of figure. So I think that's like the first thing that you would like. Try to keep off at all times. That's what Dortmund should focus on. And with an attacker like him being so clinical, I believe that Dortmund should focus more on surviving than winning, because they have to keep their league hopes alive. Because this win will, I guess, result in Bayern going 7 points clear of the table, and that's going to be quite damaging for Dortmund, to be honest. And the last time that they won the league was in 2012. So it's going to take a lot from Dortmund tomorrow in order to get a dub on this one. But I would say that tomorrow defensively Dortmund might also face some problems, because in last match against, I believe it was Wolfsburg, that Dortmund faced in the 2-0 victory, we saw Mats Hummels opting out of the game due to an Achilles problem. So there again, it's like a blow in defensively for them, and you have to defend against outright the best striker this season. So it's not going to be easy.
With Hummels, even if Hummels was fit, would he still be able to defend against Lewandowski?
That's again it's again a subjective thing. The thing is that you always have to prepare your team to be the best, no matter what. You have to train. You have to, whatever happens in the match happens. That's for the occasion. That's for the game. That's different. But I feel like with shortcomings like this for Dortmund in the first place, without keeping the preparation aspect in mind, they are actually finding themselves the underdog yet again. And the recent head-to-heads also haven't looked good for Dortmund to be the clear favorites on this one. I think the last two meetings were a 4-0 and a 5-0 victory for Bayern. So that's not great. But I would say Dortmund is an improved side than what they were in those last two meetings. I will say that. And Bayern also don't have anything on the injury front, because I think I think their injuries include Nicolas Sule and Felipe Coutinho, I think. And Coutinho is not a starter at Bayern anyway. He doesn't start that often. And so I think Nicolas Sule may be a kind of a blow, but again, I see as Bayern winning this game hands down. It'll be interesting, is what I'll say, because we've never seen a Der Klassiker without fans. This is what I'm actually interested in. I'm actually willing to see two teams, the best in Germany, how they perform without their biggest asset, which is the fans. And and also if you talk about key players for Bayern, you'll also notice that Thomas Müller is in red hot form. I think I'm just looking up. He scored like 17 assists across all competitions. So, for someone like Muller, to play behind Lewandowski is going to be a massive boost as well there. Man, we can like talk about key players for Bayern, for Dortmund. We can talk about key players all day, any day. But Dortmund can, they have Holland. I feel like Sancho should start. But keeping all of that aside, I feel like the ultimate goal for Dortmund should be to try and survive, because the more they concede, the more the problems. Because I don't see Dortmund, conceding 2 and coming back to score 3. Those days are, at the moment it isn't there, and I feel like they should try and restrict Bayern as much as possible, annoy Bayern constantly, by disarming them, and be clinical enough to finish that one goal, and build your momentum upon that. That's what Dortmund should look towards doing, because for Bayern this should be a game that they should try to win. This should be a game that they should try to walk out without any problems, because Hansi Flick hasn't seen a single problem in the last 2 to 3 months. I mean, this is before quarantine I'm talking about. That's it, man. Like, that's what should go down. That's what will go down in my opinion.
Fair enough. Before I go to Josh, obviously, as everyone can see, you can quickly see the Bundesliga table. And obviously, first place is Bayern Munich, obviously 27 games played. Obviously, bear in mind, there's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga, first division, with 61 points. Dortmund, obviously, in second with 57. So they are 4 points behind them. So if they do beat Bayern tomorrow, they will only be a point behind them. Leipzig going third with 54 points. And then obviously Leverkusen with 53. So let's be real. I think Leverkusen and Leipzig are really not in this title race. We're being behind by about 7 points and 8 points respectively, with not that many games to go. And obviously Mönchengladbach, who were actually at the top of the Bundesliga for some time, on 52. So that's just to give everyone sort of the context to where things are. So even if Dortmund do win, they still won't actually go, won't top the group, is the point. Josh, I think it's you now, actually. Who do you think are the key players going into this game?
Key players for Dortmund. Like I said, Bayern's defense is way better than Dortmund's. And Dortmund's kind of attack is a defense in some regards, even though they have kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games. But it's kind of like, I mean, if you're running back towards your goal all the time, you're not going to have enough energy to run forward, because Dortmund are coming at you with 6-7 men sometimes. The only people who are really back are the centre backs sometimes, because their full backs are really attacking. For me, because honestly, I don't think Hakimi is going to be able to get past Alphonso Davies, because he's very good. And that's a lot of where their attack comes from. Jadon, Sancho, and Hakimi linking up on that right side. So I think the battle might be on the other side with Rafael Guerreiro, who's actually had a really good season, and he's been playing well also since the Bundesliga's come back. So if Julian Brandt can be able to play some good balls to Haaland, I think Julian Brandt and Guerreiro are going to be really important in this match. As far as Bayern Munich, like I said, Alphonso Davies, I think he's going to have Hakimi in his pocket. He might even have Jadon Sancho in his pocket if he has a fantastic game.
Did you mention Hakimi, Josh?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I know, just because Average Joe mentioned him as well. So just while you're saying it, so just go on.
And obviously Lewandowski, because I mean, that guy, TBF was saying, Lewandowski, he's having a Messi-esque, Ronaldo-esque season. 41 goals, all competitions. It's insane. This is his best season. I wonder how far he can keep going if this continues. Muller as well is could be a shout there, but I think Alphonso Davies and Lewandowski are my go-to.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I just got my BD4 coming in. I'm just telling him to just turn off his camera for 2 seconds. There he is. Okay, fine. Right. BD4. Yo, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm alright, bro. I'm alright,
You're
man.
right. Yeah, this is our resident Dortmund fan actually. So it's actually good that you're actually able to join us. Actually, we've we're on the last topic now. We're doing just a Dortmund versus Bayern preview. So, being obviously a Dortmund fan,
Mhm.
how do you feel actually going into this game?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think we're going into this game with not really a lot of mental preparation for the game. I think we haven't played a lot of games in order to play this game.
Mhm.
But I think the players, for me, I can see that they're up for it, and I think they're ready for it. I think this game is gonna be a very tough game. And I think we're just gonna have to hold our nerves because the thing is, I'm already conceding that Bayern is gonna have most of the possession come the game. It's not like I've not conceded. So um I mean I think personally what I will say is I don't want to see Thorgan play tomorrow. I think Thorgan shouldn't play tomorrow. I think it should be Brandt and Sancho.
Mhm.
And I just am not confident with Akanji playing tomorrow. I don't think Akanji is the best player to play in a Del Clasico, especially for what he did in the previous one when we played in against Bayern at the Allianz Arena. Um, do I think we can win? Yeah, I think we can win because it's our home. But again, I think we're gonna have to show our attitude and mentality, and I think that's what's going to be the really big thing in this game is how much mentality and attitude do we have to really, keep Bayern at bay, because Bayern's a really good team. And they have goals all over the park. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but we can do it. We can do it. And if we can beat a very physical Wolfsburg, why can't we do it against Bayern?
I just think that's very good. That's fair enough, BD call. Just a few quick comments before I just go into the final part of this. To where? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Kingsley is on form now. Put some respect on his name. That's fair enough. Then guy from Facebook, Akpan Savio, saying, "I want to ask about Soniguez. Okay, how true is the news that is as a done deal to Manchester United? I'm going to make this quick. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. I haven't covered it because it's nonsense. Because like they just some Spanish outlet site seems to keep on wanting to push the Soniguez to Manchester United. It's not going to happen. It's not close. It's not a done deal. There's all this confusion. Um, unless someone like Fabrizio Romano or Demartio or Simon Stone mentions it, I wouldn't take any Soniguez to Manchester United news seriously at all. Um, it's not happening. Hopefully that addresses that point. Um, Sorry if I've turned you off there, but it's the truth. It's possibly the player trying to get a better contract, or it's just minor speculation. So that's that. So just on to the last point of this, I guess we'll come on to. So I've obviously talked about best form coming in, who you think the key players are coming in. So I guess I'm wondering, like, what do you think? What score predictions basically? What do you think the score prediction is going to be in this game? And I'll start with Shawnee. We'll start with Shawnee.
Score prediction. Okay. I might be boring. I might just go with a draw. I think there's like a lot on the line for Bayern Munich and Dortmund both, but I'll be boring. I'll just say 2-2. And I know that's quick, but if I think that they'll both be pushed for it. I'm just not entirely sure. I think it's going to be really, really tense, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come away with like a 2-2 draw. So I'll stick with that.
Okay, and who's the score? So I should say, what's the score prediction? Who's the score and why? That type of thing. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Haaland's just going to continue his streak. He seems to be not far away from the score sheet at all. So I'll go with Haaland. Who else shall I say for Dortmund? I'll come back to Dortmund. I go with some. I go with some of the big guns for Haaland. Haaland obviously being the main man for Dortmund. Lewandowski being the main man for Munich. I think they'll both get on the score sheet. And why not chuck in some of the other men that I mentioned just beforehand and just say that Sancho's gets on the score sheet, and that leaves one more Bayern player. Let's have a look. Maybe Lewandowski with 2. I'll go with that.
Lewandowski with 2. Okay, fair enough. Okay, TBF score predictions. Who's the score? Why?
Okay. Okay. I see this as a Bayern win, of course. But I'll say 3-1. I'll say 3-1 because, like you said, like you can't keep Holland really away from the score sheet, if that makes sense. So I guess he'll just continue his streak and obviously I feel like there's no way that you can keep Lewandowski away as well. Lewandowski's just been rushing nets and he's been balling the whole time. So yeah, but I feel like Lewandowski and Holland will score for sure, and I guess Bayern will just come out the bigger team again tomorrow. It's going to be a 3-1.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, BD Core, what's your score prediction as a Dortmund fan?
Red Devil. Well, I never come up with scoreline predictions, man. I've been that kind of guy, but I'll give you a tactical aspect to the whole game.
Okay.
So for me personally, my instructions for the players is I think that Haaland should drag the defenders wide. I want Brandt to join in with the midfield 2 and make it a midfield 3 so that they can win the second balls. And then I think Akanji really needs to make sure that he's very concentrated and focused. He needs to make sure that he's there. I think this game personally, and I'm gonna say this, I would say Bayern are the favorites to win. Just because they're known for this kind of thing, but I still believe in my club. This is Signal Iduna Park, and I think we can probably get a win. We could get a win somehow, somewhere, but I just feel like we're gonna need to work hard for it. And I think that's my only problem is I think the question in this game is how long can the back line withstand that Bayern attack and that Bayern pressure? And I think
just if obviously as it said, if Matt Hummels has an Achilles injury and can't play, do you think that is a decisive blow to Dortmund's chances in the game?
Definitely, because I always say this, like people throw shade at Matt Hummels, but the guy is, he's the only experienced defender in the whole back line. You know what I'm trying to say? And we just lost Diallo last summer to PSG, so I'm like, if he doesn't play, we're screwed, because I don't trust Akanji, and neither do I trust Pizek. So I think I think Favre, and the thing too about Favre is like he needs to find. He's not really a manager who's known for defensive football. He's more of an attacking type of manager. You get what I'm trying to say? So he's not going to, he's not going to have a structured backline because all his backline literally push up like they do high pressure. They don't drop back and play defense. That's my thing. So, Average Joe said Haaland can go wide. He's not good on the ball. I'm sorry, but in this game he has. Although Bayern center backs are not that good, Alaba and Boateng, but I just think that like he could probably like just drift a bit more wider to drag the defenders. players like Sancho and and Brandt and so forth, because I just think that if he just keeps on making the same runs directly, he's just gonna get caught, and that's not gonna help the situation. So yeah, man. I'm not making any predictions, man. Anything, but that's all I know.
Fair enough. Right. Thank you for that, beautiful. So, who have asked? So, I think.
Is there anything?
Sorry.
Any other? Is there any other football topics you guys talked about that you want me to answer or anything?
I will get your opinion on the first three that we said just before we finish. Just want to get. So, Josh, I don't think you've addressed this your score prediction. Sorry.
I'm gonna be brave and go Dortmund 3-2. I'm gonna go really brave.
Who to score?
So I think Lewandowski is gonna get 2. I think Haaland's always gonna score. I'm gonna give Haaland 1. Guerrero 1 if he's fit. He should be fit. And also Brandt.
Okay.
So 3-2 Dortmund.
Okay. Has anyone else has not given their TBF? Are you giving your score prediction?
I've given. I said it was a 3-1 to Bayern.
3-1. So has everyone given their score prediction? I think. Yep, I think everyone has. Okay, and I think just me. I think is the only one. I think. I will be ambitious as well, Josh, and actually give it. I'm going to assume that Hummels and Sancho are going to be playing. So I'm going to assume that Dortmund are going to field their strongest team. If Dortmund do field minus Marco Reus, then I would give the victory to Dortmund with a 3-2 to Dortmund. So with Haaland, Sancho, and Guerrero getting on the score sheet, and Lewandowski getting the brace for 2.
I don't think I'm gonna say something. I don't think Guerrero is gonna score in this game, and you know why I'm saying this?
Okay.
Because if Guerrero pushes up, he literally gives so much space for Pavard to run on that. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think it would be better for Guerrero to just attack and not even like push up to go and attack, or else he's just gonna expose so much space. And I just do not trust Akanji, Pizek, or Hummels. Yeah. So.
No, okay. No, I think that's a fair point. So I think I brought in Guerrero just because he has been in such good form, as in by good form, obviously the 2 games he's played, he's been on a score sheet in both of those games. He seems like he's got that eye for goals. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did on a score sheet. But you have a point. There's got to be that discipline. If Akanji is a liability, it'll be interesting to see how Hansi Flick, sets up. Is he going to make this Dortmund team very, very defensive, and then just counterattack? Or is he going to want to take it to Bayern Munich? I think it'll just depend on which team is fitter. To be honest, but I think the fitter team will take the game to the other opponent. So, but yeah, that's my score prediction. BD, just before we finish, obviously you came to the end of our topics, but the previous topics we talked about were Chiellini's comments, Messi's comments. So Chiellini's was the Suarez buy. I don't think we would tread there, but I think maybe just some comments on your thoughts on just La Liga returning, and then quickly on Messi's comments about how he doesn't feel the Barcelona team are good enough to win the Champions League. What are your thoughts on those two topics? Ooh, BD, you there?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
I can hear you now. Go for it. Yeah, go. Ooh. There you go, man. Go. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so let me go to, I don't know what Chiellini say. Sorry, what was Chiellini's comments?
So Chiellini's comments Chiellini's was just in his book. He's just basically said how he admires that Suarez bit him. Basically, that's a summary of it. He's basically sort of saying how he understands the warrior spirit, etc. So, but I don't think we're going to retread there because there's not that much to discuss. So I think just focus on Messi's comment. and La Liga returning.
Oh yeah, I heard. Oh, okay. So La Liga returning, I think, is the best thing. I think that's one of the best things because I think Real Madrid is much more fitter than they were before, and I think Asensio now is back, so now it gives them a huge boost. Actually, sorry, and I cannot wait to see it return. I think this is the best time for it to return because now you're gonna see a much more competitive La Liga, and I can see Barcelona dropping points still. I can really see Barcelona because I think Real Madrid, they're getting their players back at the right moment, and this is good. This is very good. That Asensio now is in training, Eden Hazard now is in training. So, yeah, but overall, it's a farmers league. Aside from Real Madrid, like I just don't really watch anybody else. For Messi though, um, hey man, it's normal. The guy has always been trash. He's always been.
Oh dear. Okay, Speedy, you got.
It's not.
Shots
No,
fired.
this
Shots
might-
fired. Man down.
You got
This is not half Hope's channel. No. This is not half Hope's channel. I have the right to say anything I want to say. Okay. Now, the thing here is he's admitting that they can't win a CL. Setien can. Setien said he can win a CL, right? So if Setien said he can win a CL, right, and you're saying that you can win a CL, what does that make you? You know what I'm trying to say? So my thing here is, I don't listen to Messi because the thing about Messi is he's not the best player in the world. It is a false narrative. It is something that people are trying to get into your brains to brainwash you. And I believe in what Setien is saying. I think Setien was better off without Messi. I'm being honest. Setien is better off without Messi because Messi will not help him. Messi will not help his system. Messi will not help him in any type of way. If you saw that Real Betis system, I don't see how Messi will fit into a Real Betis system like that. What I see about Setien is he actually has confidence in his players that they can win the UCL. He actually believes they can win the UCL. And I think the problem with Setien is Setien just needs the players that fit into a system in order to propel them to the next level. These players that Barcelona have right now, they don't fit into a system. You've noticed every time that Barcelona play, they've been playing 4-3-1-2.
BD, sorry to interrupt. So is this the same? Is this the same excuse that we're giving Valverde as well? That Valverde,
I agree with that, Richard.
that Valverde didn't have the same. In fact, I'll bring it back. I'll put the banner back about Messi Barcelona comments because someone's just stuttering. We can't give that same excuse. Messi helped Barcelona last season. To almost win that La Liga title under a very bad manager in Valverde. Surely. I guess what I'm saying is we can't just keep on blaming managers and he has to have the right sort of players and stuff like that around him. Like Barcelona have spent 600+ million pounds in 3 seasons to get players in. Sorry,
I don't know about those guys, but all I'll say is this: I think they're gonna lose a lot of players in the summer. And the reason why I'm saying this is it's not that the players aren't good enough. All right, it's not that the players aren't good enough. It's because of Messi's player power. That's why the players are leaving. This is why the players are leaving. Is because of Messi's player power. And if I'm hearing someone saying that he just left the chat, everybody left the chat.
That's a show. Go on.
It's facts. It's facts. It's player power. Umtiti is leaving because of player power. Dembele is leaving because of player power. Coutinho is leaving because of player power. The same thing. Ivan Rakitic is leaving because of player power. Because this is what's going on. So I think the thing about it is I don't really go into what Messi says because he's not the best player in the world and he's not someone that you have to really listen to. So yeah.
Fair enough. I think that's your first Messi is trash rant on my channel. So I think Josh has Josh left the chat. I think Josh has left the chat. Where's Josh?
Josh is gone.
Oh, Josh
He's
follows
out
me.
there.
Josh.
So there's a few people, quite a few people in the comments. Average Joe says BD will not rest until every Messi lover is wiped off the face of the earth. Fair enough, BD core. I actually don't know where Josh has gone actually. So maybe he's just in the chat as well. But fair play. I think a lot of people disagree with you, BD core, but you have the right to express your opinion. And I think, that will always be the case on my channel. Even though, like I said, I think that I don't disagree with the fact that Messi's player power isn't a problem. But what I would say is that judging on the football field, I mean, we go back to, and I think Shawnee and TBF was going to say about this. You go back to the Liverpool game. You know, Liverpool did not lose that game because of Messi. Okay, Barcelona and Messi. They lost that game because they couldn't switch on.
Yeah, I gotta leave, but yeah, I understand what you're saying about Liverpool thing, but this is what I have to tell you is how many excuses have we given Messi? I think this is insane. Let's be honest with ourselves. Stop giving the guy excuses and let him show himself. And his true self is he's horrible. That's his true self. So, but yeah, go ahead and explain to him. Go ahead, yeah.
No. Are you heading off then? Are you?
Yeah, I'm heading off. Yeah, I gotta go.
Okay, no worries. Okay, no. Thanks for coming to be the core and to hopefully get you on the channel again. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, buddy. See you later. See ya.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. I'm not sure I said where Josh is, so I think we'll just round things up. I think that's a nice cliffhanger, isn't it, guys? So is Messi overrated? We might come back to that possibly at some point.
Is that what people call a cliffhanger nowadays, or a controversy?
Controversy. Both, because I think maybe people might want to come back and come back for more. Who knows? Although Average Joe and Raymond Moore in the comments seem to be of a different opinion. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys coming on.
Cheers,
obviously,
guys.
Sean, thank you
Subscribe
guys.
to Red Devil Studios.
Subscribe to these guys' channels as well. The links are in the description. They should be in the description now to FUMIINSHO's channel and TBF's channel as well. Please head over. Josh is not in the stream anymore, but thank you, Josh, and thank you to Raymond Moore.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, thank you for everyone to come on.
Red Devil Studio to 2K subscribers. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Road to 2K, Road to 2K, man. Road to 2K. Shout out to Raymond Moore and Average Joe. Thank you very much for the interaction in the comments. Take care, everybody, and cheers.
Yo, cheers, man.